here at JuegosRancheros.com, and we'll keep you in the loop with everything that's going on. So with that out of the way, we're going to return to Fistful of Indies, which is our regular monthly list of games that you should be playing from developers both local and global. So the first up is Gasketball from our friends Mike and Greg. This is an iPad game that's just a tiny little bit like that old game Incredible Machine, only your goal here is to bounce a basketball off of all these objects and get the ball in the hoop. At its best mode is like an online horse-like challenge, which in essence is a really exciting round of competitive level design. This next one you might recognize from an earlier Juegos. This is Track and Field 2 by our own Rachel, who you might also know as Party Time Hexalent. She's officially released this as a free download. Be warned that it requires an actual old 8-bit Nintendo and a power pad, but if you've got both, you can install this super awesome multiplayer art and sound piece in your very own home. Next up, this is Dyad, which you may have seen or played at last year's Fantastic Arcade. This is an actual gameplay screenshot. Dyad is essentially a racing puzzle game with a side benefit of being one of the most amazing audio-visual treats you'll ever get if you're able to get good enough at the game. And it's also got one of our favorite game soundtracks ever from David Kanaga, who you might also know as the musician behind Proteus. This next one is Snapshot, which was just released a few days ago by our friends Retro Effect. It's a puzzle platformer type game where in addition to directly controlling this little robot here, you're also able to take photos of objects in the world and place those photos back elsewhere in the world to alter the placement and the layout of each level. It's super pretty and very well worth looking at. Next up is a simple but really compulsive little iPhone and iPad game called 10 Million, all spelled out in digits. As you can probably work out by the screenshot, it's a match 3 game that takes place in a dungeon, so matching swords defeats enemies like this fire monster here, keys unlock treasure chests and doors, and your goal is to amass 10 million experience points through repeat dungeon runs, at which point you'll be freed from your dungeon prison. So next, this is Clop by our friend Fadi, who you might know from his games Quap and Gerb, which we featured a few months back at another Juegos Rancheros. So just like Quap, which made you run an Olympic race by directly controlling your racer's leg muscles, this does the same times 2. So 4 keys on your keyboard are mapped directly to this unicorn's legs as you try and chase down a virgin across this hilly landscape. So like all of Fadi games, this is super brutal and super hilarious. And this pair of screenshots is from Jason Rohr's Diamond Trust of London. So it's a game for Nintendo DS that's finally been released after like 3 years of publisher hell. It's a multiplayer-only tabletop-ish game where you and your opponent are trying to smuggle blood diamonds out of Africa by bribing each other's like secret agents and trying to keep this blue UN agent at bay to keep you from like blocking your blood diamond transaction. Super smart, super fun, and really nicely timed with the release of the documentary The Ambassador, which if you haven't seen it yet at the Alamo, you should go check that out. It's really good. Also about the same exact thing. This one is the Basement Collection, which was just released on Steam like 2 days ago for Windows and Mac. It's a collection of all the early games that Ed McMillan and his friends did, previous to Edmund getting way more well-known for his work on Super Meat Boy and Indie Game the Movie. And you can find most of these games online already, but each one in this collection has been enhanced with a bunch of extras, like DVD extras. If nothing else, get this for the updated version of Time Ufk, I'm gonna say, which I still maintain is the best of Edmund's games. And next up, this is 30 Flights of Loving, which was also just recently released on Steam by Blendo Games. So this is a sequel to a brilliant little freeware game called Gravity Bone, which is actually included with this release if you've never played it before. Both Gravity Bone and 30 Flights are unbelievably smart cinematic little espionage stories, neither of which play much like anything else you've seen before. This is one of my top recommendations for the whole year. And finally, this is Sound Shapes, made by our friends Queasy in Toronto. Released a few weeks back for both PlayStation Vita and PlayStation 3. You buy it once, you get it for both things. This is somewhere smack in the middle of a really simple platforming game and a music creation kit where every action and every collectible that you get works to create a song as you explore all these levels. It has sound and visual collaborations by Beck and Jim Guthrie and the Super Brothers. So if you've got a PS3 or a Vita, this is an absolutely essential download. It's a super wonderful experience. And with that out of the way, let's move on to the reason we're all here, to get an early look at the games of Fantastic Arcade 2012, which is happening right here at the Highball for free September 20th to the 23rd. So we brought just 3 of the 20-odd games that'll be at the arcade this year, all of which are some of our favorites. Over here we've got Super Hexagon, created by Terry Cavanaugh, who you might know from his earlier games like VVVVVV. You'll get a chance to meet Terry later this month at Fantastic Arcade proper if you're coming back to join us. And by that time, Super Hexagon will also be on iPhone and iPad. It's coming just within like a matter of weeks or so. Over here, we've got McPixel, which was actually, again, just released a week or 2 ago for the iPhone and iPad. So if you like what you see, you can grab it right now, right here, or you can get the Windows or Mac version when you get back home. And finally, up on the main screen here, we've been playing Super Time Force, which is the latest game from our friends Cappy in Toronto, who you might know for Sword and Sorcery, or earlier games like Critter Crunch or Clash of Heroes. It's a super brand new version of the game, so you're getting an early treat here. And I also wanted to take a moment to show this, which is their new trailer for the game, as long as we can get the sound working here. This trailer just went live a few days ago, and I think it's one of the best trailers of all time.
This is considered as almost... And now, back to Super Time Force! We did it, mes amis! You guys, I can't believe we just killed the Blambot nuka drone that was masquerading as the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs and totally saved them from extinction, you guys! You want to jump that pile of burning tires, Davey? So what's stopping you, bro? I could get hurt real bad, or even die. Always remember, kids, life, she is for living. And if you die, just rewind time and try the whole living thing all over again. Let me show you how it's done. Die, well, you just try and 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 try again. Have fun, kids. Super Time Force is out.
And don't do it. Kuka! Buka!
Super friends and super adventures. Time Force. Superheroes, super America.
That's amazing. Okay, we're gonna let you get back to all the games here. Thanks to everybody for coming out, and we hope to see you again every month for these meetups, and especially in a couple weeks for Fantastic Arcade. So thank you.